Hey everyone, how you all doing? Now I heard something even more interesting, and this is about Hugo Talks. And as you know, I do listen to Hugo Talks, and I do comment on his videos when he drops them. And he was talking about going down the rabbit hole, and I thought this was interesting. He said that at first, going down the rabbit hole, it's time consuming, but he said he'd done a lot of research. He'd done all this going down the rabbit hole many years ago, before Brand and before Redacted and before them all. I'm going to put Hugo Talks right at the top for gleaning of truth at the earliest point. He needs to have more followers. I know he's got 140,000, maybe a bit more, but he's been ahead of a lot of them. I know that for a fact. Seems like a nice guy. He's now become a Christian. This is unbelievable about Hugo Talks. At first, people would only ever see what he said in his videos and the way he laid them out as conspiracy theorist, but somebody that had a bit of insight. I think he had a bit of insight, maybe spiritual insight. Maybe that's what he's got now, spiritual insight. But it was only ever back then a full blown conspiracy theorist. That's how everybody would have pointed the finger at Hugo Talks back then, but not now. And I like what he said the other day when he was commenting in one of his videos, and he said, yes, it took an exhausting amount of time to go down all these rabbit holes, but at the end of the day, was it for a reason? Was it for him to be molded, in a way, to be molded, made a better person, and to be given more spiritual insight? Because he may not have had spiritual insight previously, and maybe he's had all these sort of rough edges knocked off him, with all this early investigation. I think that's probably a great way to describe the way he explained it to me. That not to me, but to all his subscribers. I'm talking, I'm talking the singular there, as if he was just talking to me. No, he has commented on a couple of my comments, and he gave a really good explanation about the King James Bible. That's going to take me down another subject, that about King James. I'd like to know a bit more about that man. What was his affiliations and all that caper. Yeah, there ain't that many people I'm following at the moment. I got rid of quite a lot of the XJWs because I just didn't want to hear kind of all the same old videos, heaping coals on the former religion. I thought, hey, boring, boring. Don't want to hear it. And that's why I got into these other YouTubers. And I've always been into to Brand for a long time, even when people didn't really like him, because he was pure leftist, wasn't he? He was Hollywood. He was One Eye Brigade and all that. And now, yes, has he got spirituality? Well, maybe he has. Is it the spirituality that will lead to eternal life? Will it be enough to save him? We don't know. Possibly. Only God can read hearts. Well, that's what we've got to do, people. Call yourself awake. Yeah, that's great. But it's much better to be spiritually awake. I'd rather be spiritually awake than just awake. Big difference. At least if you're spiritually awake, you have an idea of what God's plans are. Whereas you wouldn't have any idea at all if you was just normally worldly awake or worldly wise. God wouldn't come into your thoughts. So it is far better at this time to be spiritually awake. And I shall leave you there.